Rachel, I want you to go back to March the 21st, 2000.
I remember being so scared. I was really young.
Chase was born first.
5:33. I met Sydney at 5:35. We couldn't hold them in front of the mirror because they'd start crying. They'd be so upset. You ever see their mirrors, it's just stuff written on it. They don't look in the mirror just to look at themselves. They look in the mirror with like an intent.
You guys are not just identical twins, you're mirror twins.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
It's like looking at a reflection of yourself.
And when you look at your brother, you see what?
Everything that we went through together. Possibility. We just see more. You can envision it, but the path to get there, it is hard to see.
Everything that has happened to them has been together.
This is why it feels really weird, bro.
Two boys trying to process life driven by scarcity, uncertainty.
You think about ground zero? This was it.
We dream about how it was going to be better. It's hopeful.
It's game day at the University of Illinois, and fans are watching the resurgence of the Fighting Illini. At the heart of it, Canadian twins on their way to the NFL.
Tipped and intercepted by Sidney Brown.
Well, growing up in Canada, Sidney was actually originally the running back. Guess who took over his
Touchdown, Chase Brown.
Their mom drove them to Florida when the twins were 16, all to help them pursue their dreams.
Pretty cool story, isn't it?
The early days of Chase and Sydney, it was me and them. We were a team. From the time that they were out of the incubators, they were always touching. Always touching. Everything they did was together.
When they'd go up and down stairs, one would go down one side, one would go down the other side. One would turn one way, one would turn the other way. It was just incredible to watch.
I've been blessed just with the opportunity to have a brother that's just like me in every other way. I mean, it's just been competitive, to say the least. You know, we're trying to figure out who's better at what.
I got him. No.
Whether it was us kicking a soccer ball around us, who could kick it harder, who could kick it further, who could throw the ball further.
Who would be better in those days?
I took every single one. No, it was a square off.
Move like that. Huh? 4-0. Cap! Are you?
We were just knuckleheads, man.
Say to the camera you ran a 4-0. I ran a 4-0. You're cap. On camera. I ran a 4-0.
The energy level they had, the more tired they were, the better behaved they were. So we found our football league.
And fell in love instantly.
Number 6, Chase Brown.
They're crazy athletes. It was easy to get special things out of them.
They really were fantastic.
They were so hungry just for more.
I just felt like a sense of purpose. You start thinking like, hey, like I want to go to the NFL one day. That's what I want to do.
Those were just dreams for Sydney and Chase. Reality was drastically different.
Over the years that I knew them, you know, they moved around a lot. I didn't really ever know why.
Beyond not having their father consistently in their lives, the devastating effects of addiction within their family created enormous obstacles.
My brother struggled with substance abuse. A drug addict is not the same person as a family member. They're just completely different people.
My grandpa and uncle, they were father figures to us, but I learned a lot of what not to do from those two men.
It had a lot to do with my family kind of following us and
They were dependent on you.
Yeah, for a lot of things. And so things started going sideways.
There was just a lot going on. Like, it was, okay, there's no money, and then there's some money, and then all the money's gone, and then we're out of this place, and we're into a new spot. We knew it wasn't the best situation, but it was the norm for us.
It's been very difficult for her as a young single mom, but this door was always open for them.
My mom and her husband helped a lot.
In 2012, Rachel welcomed her daughter, Maya, and continued to make ends meet, but became ill.
I remember just there's like a hopeless point. That was a terrible time. There's a lot of shame involved with having to ask for help.
Yeah, and this is where it feels really weird, bro.
I used to be right there.
When we went to the shelter, it was just tough.
It just hits a little bit differently from being back. This was always a place I never wanted to be, you know what I mean?
It hit us hard.
It's what we had to do.
Where's the idea of playing college football when you're 16?
Pretty much in the dirt.
Despite all of this, Rachel managed to keep football in their lives. And their tremendous talent got them noticed.
So I took an email in from somebody I knew, and he said that he had 2 kids from Canada, and he had 2 highlight films clipped to it, and it was Chase and Sydney. We felt like, you know, they were both going to bring something to the table that would make us better. But then you start to learn the story, and that's what set the hook with me.
Received a phone call from Todd Cornetti. Todd knew we had a way to maybe host them.
This would get them away from all of the things that were going on at home.
So on Monday, we had a conference call with Rachel.
There's something about everything that he said. It gave me a level of ease that nobody should have when they're about to drop their kids off in another country.
We learned enough to know, okay, this is a good thing to do.
And then everything just went like a freight train after that.
The next morning, we're driving down. There's that sense of uncertainty. You hear kids going down south, and the situation not always being the greatest. We're about to move in with these people. I have no idea who they are.
We met the coaches, and we met the Yates at a dinner.
I'm giving him all this sort of culture spiel stuff. And I said, here's a couple things you need to know about me. Number one, when I see you, I'm gonna hug you. And if we have a conversation of any value, the last thing I'm gonna say to you is that I love you.
We were lost for words. It was just not something I was used to.
I stayed the night in the hotel, left them there.
On the 4th day, my mom takes us to school in the morning. Couple hugs goodbye.
That's when everything hit. I have a picture I took of the boys standing in front of St. Stephen's just before we left. They looked so sad. They looked sad. I looked at the side view mirror the whole way back to Canada.
What did you see in that mirror?
Distance. I had not been honest about my financial situation. In order to be able to afford the costs of them going, I ended up homeless again.
What did your boys know about that?
Nothing. As their mom, I would do anything for them, whatever it took.
They came pretty far behind for a school like St. Stephen's.
You feel the pressure. We felt the pressure every day.
These are smart young men. They just didn't fully understand their full capabilities. We just wanted to support them in the way that we thought would make them most successful.
We saw how they went about their business, how they lived their routine, and we were like, we want to be just like them. But if we don't take care of business, then all this could be gone.
We had a Friday practice. I'm gonna talk to one of the underclassmen who's struggling a little bit. And the only other 2 kids are the twins in the back of the locker room. And I'm like, this is it. They're homesick. They wanna leave. Walk up to them and I say, hey, what's going on? You guys okay? And they're like, yeah, coach, we just Just want to wait for our hug before we go home. I was like, man, these kids are all in. The thing that the twins had just by the pound was work ethic.
Everyone's efforts paid off.
You just watch them explode.
Go Chase! Go Chase!
We were on fire from there.
St. Stephen's did not lose a football game while they were on the field.
Hey, it was awesome!
Chase, Sydney, Brown. Chase and Sydney embraced their opportunity as much as the community embraced them. Both eventually found themselves at the University of Illinois, captaining the defense, contending for a Heisman.
Did we ever think that this was really going to happen for them? Pinch me?
We have a couple of guests here today. They were great students here at South. They've gone on to bigger and better things. They want to come in today and share a few things with you guys, so we want to give Sid and Chase a nice warm welcome.
They're becoming such confident young men. They see their values.
What's going on, boys? It's surreal being back in a way. It's just, you know, walk these same hallways, play in the same field. We worked out in that same locker room.
I certainly didn't know the school they ended up going to would give them such a vastly different perspective of life.
There's so many lessons that we learned that kind of guided us to where we are now. I think something that's special is the people that you have around you. You got to be grateful for what you see here. The people that we are around change our lives.
Just what I could now see was attainable.
We all want to be where these guys are, right? We all want to get that opportunity.
Whenever I start to feel pride, I catch myself and say, you know what? It's not me. The hard work they've put into this, they were doing that on their own. Karen and I both feel like they were already molded and shaped by Rachel.
You looked like a bobblehead.
What we've been through as a family, to see them where they are, it's like a sigh of relief.
You guys were just the cutest little things and my favorite little people.
But the men that they are is why I'm proud.